Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the iHeartRadio network every Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also want to thank you for all of your listeners down in Latin America, so bienvenidos to you. Of course, you good old boys up in Canada, we love you. Even across the pond in London, England, thank you for listening to Charlton and Big C. Your good old boys out in Berlin, England, actually Berlin, Germany, and also the great boys in Australia, and of course the great United States of America, Big C. But I love saying on this beautiful September the 28th, 2016, it's hot in California. How's it going for you good old boys? It's always hot down south, Big C.
Charlton, it's always hot and tasteful. Always a lot of good food to eat. I ate too many burgers today, and I'm sitting back. I had to release a couple of inches off my belt. Just not open, a couple of inches.
Well, what do you mean you ate a couple burgers today? You said just today, Big C? That's the only day?
I'm getting an early start on tailgate, so I want to make sure that I'm in the front of the line, not middle of the line, where all the good stuff is gone.
Oh, that's always good stuff. Tailgating, what do you mean tailgating? Football doesn't start till Saturday, Big C. What are you guys starting on Wednesday for, Big C?
Charlton, after Monday Night Football, the party begins for the next year.
That's
we get ready early. That's the reason why we can dominate the rest of the country when we play them, because we prepare. We prepare outside the stadium and inside the stadium.
Oh, yeah, definitely preparing outside and inside. And speaking of preparing for the stadium, this segment is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive one, tell them that Charlton and Big C sent you. Now, Big C, I've been noticing more and more fish. I thought it was just a thing down south where they actually carry the fish in the back of their Cadillacs, Big C, but I'm seeing people in California starting to do that too. So yesterday at a car dealership, I saw all the cars were muddy. They said because it doesn't rain, we're having a drought. But this new thing about catfish in the back of the car, is that really for the alarm, or is it just the way you guys roll, Big C, down south?
Plus it keeps people away. You got to realize catfish has birds, and they stick you to try to sneak in the back window.
Yeah.
But they also, if it gets too hot, that odor, you don't want to be riding around with it. You're trying to jack somebody's car.
That's so funny. Sometimes when you get a nice car, all your friends, if you're in college, you don't understand this, but when you're a grown man and you got a nice car, you notice how all your friends need a ride because you got the new Escalade, Big C. But when they get that catfish smell, is that how it keeps them away, Big C? Is that part of why you have it?
No one asks where you're going because they don't want to follow yourself.
They know where you're coming from. And speaking of knowing where you're coming from, I'm telling you right now, if you love baseball, it can be a long season, but baseball is actually an enjoyable game. And coming down the stretch, you have some great games that are shaping up, some great teams. Out here on the West Coast, we're always looking at the San Francisco Giants because all the years they won the World Series, Big C, they went in as a wild card. And in the American League, in the wild card standings, but right now looking at Toronto, and they're at 87-70, and Baltimore 85-72, and then Detroit, they're looking strong. They're 84-73. Seattle, Houston, and then New York. And in the National League, you have New York, they're 84-74. The Giants, which is who I picked to win the World Series again because we're in an even year, and they are at 83-74. They're challenging St. Louis and also Miami. And just your thoughts on baseball. Is this where you actually get more excited about baseball, Big C? Or is it still Alabama football, Big C?
Well, it's hot for red out there, and I think they're close to Alabama's colors and stuff.
Yeah.
But, baseball, this is there for the postseason.
Yeah.
Because every game means something. When you got 162 games, yes, they're meaningful, Charlton, throughout the years. But this time, in these best of series, when you get into the playoffs, Charlton, every game is intense. You got sellout crowds. You can't make a bad play and hope to overcome them most of the time.
Yeah.
But baseball is just really fun, and you look at the Cubs. They've already won 101 games this year.
Oh, amazing this year.
Games since 1918 that they won. And they also re-signed Theo Epstein to a 5-year extension. Now, Theo is the one who orchestrated the Boston Red Sox return to greatness after so many years in the doldrums, winning the World Series. He came over to the Cubs 5 years ago. Yeah. And every year the Cubs have gotten better, from 66 wins in his first season to this year, Charlton, a record-setting 101 with the Cubs organization. Yeah. So, you look at the turnaround with what he did. He brought in Joe Madden as a general manager from Tampa Bay. And they've done wonders with this club. You look at the lineup, it's not all those big, nice ball players. It's ball players who want to play baseball. And that's the Joe Madden and Epstein way. But on another note in baseball, our beloved boy Tim Tebow.
Oh, the amazing Tim Tebow, the guy that can do it all, Big C.
You know, this is a guy who's hated by much of the media. Here's a guy who had a winning record as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Beat Ben Roethlisberger in a playoff game, passed over 300 yards in that game.
Yeah.
And you know, no one said he could play football. You know, he has never lost. You know, he has a better winning record than a lot of guys. What's your boy there?
You like Blaine Gabbert? Hey, that's the San Francisco media favorite, Blaine Gabbert. I think he has a QBR rating of 30th in the league. I think there's only 32 teams in the NFL. Last I checked, Big C, but maybe there's a lot more than that since they think he's the best they can find, Big C.
Well, you got to realize Tim Tebow, Charlton, as a quarterback in the NFL, won more games in 1 year than Blaine Gabbert has won in a 5-year career. So,
well, don't tell that to the Bay Area media because you'll get ostracized.
We'll keep that under wraps.
Yeah. See, Big C, that's the problem I have with you. You're always talking about the facts. Why can't you just be an emotional person and live on your emotions, Big C? Can you do that for a change?
All right, Charlton, let me get emotional with you here. You know, Tim Tebow now is in the instructional league in the Mets organization.
Yeah.
In his first at bat today, Charlton, he hit a home run.
Yeah.
To the opposite field, off a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Now, I think it was served up to him.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't throw it straight down the plate the first pitch. All right? Throw him some junk. Throw him a breaking ball.
Yeah.
But, it was that pitch like, hey, Tim, I'm going to throw a fastball belt high right down the middle of the plate. But to his graciousness, Charlton,
he hit it.
Took it out the park.
Yeah. It's
now,
like...
You know, you got to look at another great athlete who tried to play baseball.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Michael was in the White Sox organization. It was owned by the owner of the Sox and the Bulls anyway, Michael Reinsdorf.
Yeah.
But Michael, in 582 bats in the minor league, only hit 3 home runs.
Yeah. Well, you know, Michael's heart wasn't in. His heart wasn't into it, Big C. He was doing that because of some agreement that he put together with David Stern that a lot of people didn't really want to believe or even heard about, Big C. But that was something where his heart was not really in it, but he found a way to go do it anyway, Big C. Does that make sense at all, Big C?
It makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of questions about Michael leaving the NBA and going to play baseball.
Yeah.
You know, he had another passion for something else. I think it was more tied to his personal life.
Yeah.
As far as things that he was doing.
Oh, yeah. That's why they call it the Windy City for his politics, not because of the win, Big C. But congratulations, Michael Jordan's done a lot of good things right anyway. But yeah, just your thoughts when we talk about Tim Tebow and also baseball in the American League. Big C, we have the Toronto Blue Jays over the Orioles. It was 5-1. And we had the Tigers 12-0 over the Indians, Big C. And also it was the Yankees 6-4 over the Red Sox. The Royals actually beat the Twins in 11 innings, 4-3. And it was the Angels 8-1 over the Oakland A's. The White Sox beat the Rays by the score of 13-6. And I want to just add on a little bit of something. I know because we talked about the sadness, you know, the Fernandez losing his life, and there was a lot of players that were telling him when they were at the bar, don't go out on the boat. Just go home or whatever and relax a little bit. And so I bring that up, Big C, because a lot of times, when they sell drinks at games, and we have a lot of people that want to get together and they want to tailgate, they want to drink and have a beer. Now, I'm not knowing what happened to the young man, but I know there's a slogan about don't let your friends drive if they're not 100% conscious of what they're doing. And so that's just a great reminder that if you see someone trying to operate a motor vehicle, whether it's a boat or a car, take the keys. I mean, you may have a little fist fight or whatever, or argument, but take the keys and keep our guys safe. That's just my thought. Big C, your thoughts on that?
Well, Charlton, it's always been that analogy, don't drink and drive. And they have late police during holidays such as the 4th of July and Labor Day, those big holidays when families are out and boating. And, boats are just as dangerous as a car.
As
really,
cars.
Charlton, even more dangerous because it's an open vehicle.
Yeah.
Which will reach high speed.
Yeah.
And if you have alcohol consumption, you're not going to be 100% of your faculty.
Yeah, that's true, Big C.
So, tragedy is something that no one wants for anybody, Charlton.
Yeah.
And this was an unfortunate incident. But when alcohol is involved, you have to be more conscientious about your surroundings because other people are put in peril, not just yourself.
Yeah, and that's true.
And we saw that in this incident, Charlton, where 3 people lost their lives.
Yeah.
And, it's a tragedy in Major League Sports. But, it's something that hopefully other people will learn from this tragedy.
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive, whether you're on the water or on the roadways. So.
Yeah, that's so true, Big C. And let your friends know that we're going to take the keys from you. And you'd rather do that than have the tragedy that happened. So everyone keep that in mind. And also, this segment is sponsored by your California Lottery. What can a buck do for you? Big C, they're building another casino here in Northern California. They've been popping up all over the state of California. I don't know how the good old boys in Nevada feel about that. Used to be up in Reno and then Las Vegas, everyone but go to gamble. Now it seems in California, every 40 miles there's another casino coming. So I don't know how the lottery is going to deal with that. I don't know what a buck could do for you, but what could a buck do at a casino, Big C? Not that much, really.
You might get a pull on the slot machine.
You might get half a drink.
Get half a drink, but the lottery is a wonderful payoff if you're fortunate enough to hit that for friends and family. It's a life-changing and altering scenario when that occurs, and it's happened for thousands of people throughout America and around the world.
Yeah.
And had that scenario come to place where they've gotten all the numbers, Charlton.
Yeah.
But, when you play safe.
Well,
whether it's on the lottery, whether it's in a casino, know your limits.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
What you need to do.
There was a movie with Denzel Washington, and I think the other gentleman was Dal Lindo, and I can't remember, but Denzel had a red suit, and this guy was good with the numbers. And I think it was produced by Spike Lee. And
Malcolm X.
Yeah, Malcolm X, exactly, Big C. That movie was so great that Malcolm X, when he was young, he had the hustle of them, Big C, like the good old boys do down south nowadays. But I'll never forget where this guy kept the numbers in his head. So how does that apply to the lottery? I've been keeping numbers in my head, Big C. I think they're going to finally rub off. So we'll be winning. Charlton and Big C Sports going to win that next California Powerball of Mega Million, Big C. So we'll be looking forward to that. And also, Big C, I just want to bring up more scores in Major League Baseball. We're doing a live remote, and people are getting ready for football practice. And so we love doing that here in Northern California. The National League, it was the Cardinals 12-5 over the Reds. It was also the Mets 12-1 over the Marlins, and that was a great performance by the Mets to score 12 runs, Big C. And also the Cardinals scored 12, and the Mets scored 12. And I think there was one more team that scored 12 runs. It was actually San Francisco. They beat Colorado 12-3, so those might be some of the numbers I used in my lotto, Big C, just so you know. And also, going back into Major League Baseball, the Nationals 4, the Diamondbacks 2, and the Cubs, you talked about them earlier, 6-4 over the Pirates. What makes the Cubs so good, Big C? They're always hoping they can get the goat off their back and win another World Series.
Well, Charlton, what they have are players. They have team players. They have players that will play the role that is asked. And if you have somebody who has to bunt, they will do that. If you have someone to sacrifice fly, they will do that. Their pitching staff has been in command all year long. They have a solid, strong bullpen, Charlton. But a manager who understands the game, who's a tactician. Tactician, excuse me. Where other teams are playing checkers trying to make the quick moves, he's playing chess, okay? He's a strategist. And that has worked out every year that he's been a manager, whether it was in Tampa Bay. And he brought that young team along. Now that he's with the Cubs, when you look at the success building every year that he's had with this organization, and the player development, Charlton, he's developed them within. He hasn't gone out and sought those high-priced free agents. Matter of fact, he let a couple players on his
he let them go. He let them go.
Become those high-priced free agents. Because he knew that the need of the team wasn't about the individual making too much money, Charlton.
Well, you're saying that Andrew Luck could not have played for the Cubs, Big C, and I understand that. But also, it was the Braves 7, the Phillies 6, and on the Rangers 6, and the Brewers 4. And as we get into another sport, Big C, Conor McGregor, we get into the UFC, and we talk about how that's trying to compete with football. I don't think it's ever going to compete with football. It's not even going to compete with basketball. But they do get higher ratings when they come into town. Now, he's going into New York to have a fight at Madison Square Garden. What a great place for boxing has been over the years.
Hollow grounds
of sporting events. But he's going to be fighting Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight title November the 12th. And he's 20-3 on the season. Here's a guy that has made so much money in the UFC. And I think at one time they outlawed that type of fighting in New York. But they realized, Big C, in upstate New York, how much money they were missing because guys are going to fight anyway, Big C. Do you see that taking over Madison Square Garden for events more so than boxing, Big C?
Well, New York has always been a boxing mecca, Charlton. When you think of some of the great fighters of all time that have fought in that grand arena. But, the MMA has just taken America and the world
by storm.
Wherever they go, there's sellout events. And you're getting premium dollar for every ticket that is sold, Charlton. Where in these boxing events, you may have a half-sold arena depending on the individual that is boxing as a headliner. But the MMA, every fight is like a headliner because you're going to get the ultimate entertainment as a fan that there's going to be constant action.
Yeah.
So, states will relent because they're selling it on closed circuit.
Yeah.
So you're not keeping it out of the state. You're just not having it there live. But they understand the revenue that's generated from that. So people will relent, Charlton, when it comes down to, revenue?
Yeah.
We can make money on this?
Make money? You saying New York's about making money, Big C?
Let's rethink our decision here, because we weren't making any money.
Yeah.
But now we're going to make money off parking, off concessions, off the ticket sales, ticket tax, all of that. So you look at the purse, that these guys will be getting. We get to tax them on the purse also.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's revenue earned in the state.
Yeah.
So, it's a smart decision for New Yorkers. New Yorkers are very intelligent people and insightful.
Yeah.
They've been on sports forever, regardless of what the sport is. It's always been in New York.
Yeah.
So I think this is the right move, allowing the MMA back into Madison Square Garden.
Well, I think it's very so, because a lot of guys, they're going to fight anyway, may as well get paid for it, and may as well, unlike Donald Trump, pay taxes on your earnings too, Big C. And Hillary said...
Donald's not going to pay any federal tax. He said he's never paid them, he's not going to pay them, and he would love to be president and force everybody else to pay.
Yeah, so if you're an American citizen, talk about sending people back across the border. He says they don't pay their taxes. Well, maybe he's part Hispanic, because he doesn't pay his taxes either, Big C. I just thought that's funny. He's saying one of the reasons he wants to keep, in his words, the illegals out of the country is because they don't pay taxes. And here's a man that won't even release his tax returns because he's under audit. I mean, that's a... Yeah, he said that.
The IRS keeps coming at him, but he has such a string of lawyers to work around and delay everything, and they never caught up with it.
Yeah.
So, when you talk about dishonesty, I mean, he was honest in that.
Yeah.
But he's been not dishonest about a lot of things. But I appreciate his honesty in saying I never pay taxes.
Yeah.
But since you're so stupid, vote for me anyway, and I'll make you pay taxes.
Yeah, he's pro law enforcement and fire department, but how they get their services paid for is through taxes, Donald Trump. But you can't tell him that.
He's talking about expanding the military.
Yeah.
And he's talking about reducing taxes. The military takes up 51% of all tax revenue.
Yeah.
Brought in by the U.S. government.
So you're saying
us and the world.
So when Donald,
he's talking about cutting that by 40%.
Yeah.
How do you cut that by 40%? And he's talking about expanding the military. So where does the money come from at that point? If you're going to cut taxes 40%, and then expand the military, those two equations don't work. So I'm wondering who his strategists and his economic people are to let him know, Donald, do you realize you're talking out the other end of your body?
Well, Donald's saying when he pays his taxes, there'll be enough money to form the military, a new military. That's what he's saying. And also, speaking of taxes, this segment is sponsored by United Labor Guarantee, $100,000 life insurance. We also work with all of the unions under the AFL-CIO, and we're endorsed by the American Heart Association and the American Cancer Society. We are also, just like Donald Trump, Big C, we're looking to hire 1,000 licensed insurance brokers to help put people back to work. So tweet out to Charlton and Big C Sports. You can follow us every Monday through Friday on the iHeartRadio Network, the #1 platform in the United States. And when you follow iHeartRadio Network, you have to understand that sports, for you advertisers, sports is a billion-dollar industry. And part of this billion-dollar industry is boys and girls sports. And you can follow Charlton and Big C Sports every Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. When you want to hear more news about real talk sports, we capture the Hispanic market, the African-American market, and also every other demographic group. So tweet out to Charlton and Big C Sports for that. And also, Big C, just going back a little bit into the college football world, talking about paying taxes. We know LSU just got rid of Les Miles. They're talking about, they just got rid of, is it Cam Cameron also, Big C? They let him go as well?
Cameron, the offensive coordinator, Charlton, was let go yesterday. Ed Ogeron said he did the firing, the new head coach.
Wow.
But Cam Cameron was, the previous staff, Les Miles, was told about Cam Cameron.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting the job done. And if you look at LSU's lackluster offense over the past couple years, they really haven't had an offense since Metzenberger,
the
quarterback that they had. He was transferred. He didn't grow up at LSU. He transferred in from Auburn. So, Cam Cameron had success with him, but he hasn't had success with any other quarterback.
Yeah.
So there was a change needed. And Les Miles, hanging with his buddy, kept Cam Cameron around. Lost him his job.
Yeah.
They say that Cam was gone.
Yeah.
So Ed Ogeron has made some positive moves, changing the offense. And the success he had at USC when he was the interim coach.
Yeah.
Now, if he can get that same, success at LSU, Will they keep him? But right now, the big question is there's two coaches that everybody wants. There's Tom Irvin out of the University of Houston and Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
You know, both of these guys have had success. So, and you look at Petrino, also Art Briles.
Yeah.
Art Briles and Bobby Petrino had the same type of troubles during the non-football season. They lost their jobs.
Yeah.
But we see what Bobby Petrino has done at Louisville.
Yeah.
College football is about money and winning, Charlton. They don't always care about what somebody did. They can buffer that.
Yeah.
Because they deal with the situation right now.
Yeah.
And that's what it was with Les Miles. Right now, you're not winning.
And that's part of that good old boy network where they can get fired, like Briles down at Baylor, and he got fired over something that really he didn't have a lot of knowledge of, but they held him accountable for it, Big C. But it wasn't so egregious that he can't get another job at a great program. And when you look,
saying that the swimming coach is
he may get fired, but he'll get another job someplace too, Big C.
But think about that.
Yeah.
You know, Art Briles and the swimming coach at Stanford University was in the same type of scenario. But the boy at Stanford was convicted, Charles.
Yeah. Yeah.
No player at Baylor was convicted.
Yeah. That's true.
The player at Stanford, the swimmer, was convicted. The swimming coach still has his job. There's no outcry from the public that he needs to go.
Well, that's a very good point, Big C. That's a very good point you're making right there. And, you know, sometimes it's just who you know, Big C. We know that because when we talk about no violence against women, and it should not happen, period, and there's never an excuse for it, but when it happens and a coach is aware of it, whether something happened at Penn State, or what happened at Stanford, or what happened at Baylor, I mean, there's some issues going up at Washington State, too, with Mike Leach about some players that were doing some shenanigans. And he's saying, well, it's not just my players. There's other athletes doing it too, Big C. But that's no excuse for it. We got to crack down on it. But you're right. When coaches are a part of that.
You mentioned two critical situations.
Yeah.
You mentioned Joe Paterno.
Yeah.
Once it came to light about what he was covering up, he lost his job. Art Briles, the same way, he lost his job.
Yeah.
But the swimming coach at Stanford.
He's still working.
Swimming's not a high-profile sport, I understand it.
Yeah.
One of his guys did was as heinous as anything you could do.
More heinous, yeah. The girl was she was drunk, she was unconscious, and he still assaulted the woman, which is an act of violence. But you're right, I didn't even think about that.
He was caught with his pants down and held by other private citizens for the police to show up.
Yep, and he's still working.
The police caught him, and you know he gets a slap on the wrist from a judge.
I think he got out in 3 months. He got out in 3 months, Big C.
He gets out in less than 3 months. Charlton, on serving his sentence.
Yeah.
The judge said to women, you
don't matter. Yeah.
You don't matter. That's what the judge said to women. You don't matter.
You don't, and they don't matter when you think about it, Big C. And also, I just want people to keep in mind, too, if we talk about it on iHeart Radio Network, and we're out here at practice, so you'll hear some noise in the background. But I just want to say that that's the same area of media that covers the 49ers. Colin Kaepernick caught more flap for standing up for Black Lives That Matter and trying to protest against black men being shot at a rate of 6-1 compared to Caucasian men. And people wanted to chastise him for that. But this coach, that's the coach of the Stanford swim team, the boy commits a sexual assault against the girl. There's no one telling him to sit down and shut up, and there's no one protesting Stanford swim team. You know, my mind was a little bit naive, Big C, until you brought that up again. So I wonder if we'll hear ESPN going back into that subject, but I doubt if they will, Big C.
No, you know, if the whole media will blast Colin Kaepernick. They'll blast Colin Kaepernick again this week.
Yeah.
But this kid at Stanford who gets a pass for being a rapist.
Yeah.
And I have to say it, y'all, you can't cover that up. He's a rapist.
Yeah.
And he gets a pass, you know, from the judicial system.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick has done nothing to harm anybody or threaten anybody.
That is so true.
And he's getting chastised, he's getting scrutinized, he's getting rolled under the bus. Really, the road grader, Charlton.
For exercising the First Amendment. For exercising the First Amendment.
And he didn't commit sexual assault.
Yeah.
He didn't commit a threat. He didn't commit battery.
Yeah.
But this swimmer at Stanford did this.
Yeah.
Joe Paterno covered up his scenario. Art Briles turned a blind eye to what was going on at Baylor.
Yeah.
But Colin Kaepernick hasn't done anything sexually to anybody, but make him seem like he's the rapist, and the other guys, what they were doing was okay.
And you know, that is so powerful that you bring that up, and this segment is sponsored by One Life America Life Insurance. We're the leaders in the country when it comes to final expense. We're also, like Donald Trump, trying to hire 1,000 life insurance brokers to put them to work. Tweet out the Charlton and Big C Sports on the iHeart Radio Network. And also, Big C, I just want to bring this up because it's so powerful what you just said. Some of what you just talked about with this swimmer at Stanford, and we'll get into a little bit of NFL, when we have an NFL quarterback being chastised for exercising his First Amendment speech. You have guys like Boomer Esiason who comes out and says some stupid things. Mike Ditka, we know a lot of Donald Trump. If you don't like it, get the hell out of the country. A country that Donald doesn't even pay taxes in, and he's telling you to get out of the country. I mean, that's an oxymoron.
Colin Kaepernick is paying more taxes than
Donald Trump has.
Donald Trump is paying his entire life.
Yeah,
Let's be real about who's a true American.
Yeah.
You got all those naysayers out here who's swallowing Trump.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick has paid
more taxes than Donald.
In his NFL career,
yeah,
that Donald Trump has paid in his entire life.
Wow, Big C. I mean, maybe I should eat more fried catfish, Big C, and drink more moonshine because you have a very lucid memory. And speaking of lucid memories, I want to just touch on some of the NFL because we look up and down the league right now in the NFL and the AFC West. Denver's still rolling from the Super Bowl last year. They're off to a 3-0 start. They scored 84 points, only giving up 57. The Raiders could also be undefeated, but you know what, Big C, is about what you do on the game on the field, not what you could do. They're 2-1 in the West. They've scored 80 points, but their defense has given up 79. I think they may have turned some things around when they were in Tennessee. But just your thoughts on the West. I'm still looking at the Raiders and Denver to battle out in the West, but Kansas City's also 2-1, and they've 69 points scored. They've only given up 49. San Diego, they're kind of struggling right now. But your thoughts on the West, your thoughts for that, Big C?
Well, you know, Denver is kind of a surprise team out there, Charlton. Timmy has done a wonderful job. He hasn't done anything to lose a game.
Yeah.
And when you have a defense like he possesses in Denver, it makes his job real easy.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have to go out and make a mistake in trying to press things down the field.
Yeah.
And you know, this season will be easy.
Yeah.
Kansas City had a hiccup. You know, but they're 2-1.
Yeah.
And we saw when they went on an 11-game run last season, Charlton.
Oh, yeah.
So they have the ability to put together a streak of wins to challenge anybody. The Raiders, they still haven't found their true identity.
Yeah.
That's their problem that they're possessed with right now.
Well, in the AFC North, you look at Baltimore, they are 3-0. They've scored 57, but they've given up 44 points. The Raiders are playing them this weekend. Pittsburgh is 2-1. They've scored 65, but their defense has given up 66, which is uncharacteristic for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In Cincinnati, they are 1-2, but you know they're very good. However, they've only scored 56, and they've given up 75 points. Big C, your thoughts on that NFC, actually the AFC North with Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and then Cincinnati, Cleveland, we know they're struggling, Big C.
Well, last Pittsburgh only put 3 points on the scoreboard, but the Steelers are going to get healthy soon. They're going to get some players back. They're going to get Le'Veon Bell back.
Yeah.
And that's really going to help the game and give Big Ben a little more time.
Yeah.
You know, Flacco has come back off of this knee injury that he suffered last year and missed some 8 to 10 games.
Yeah.
And he has looked well. Coming back, he showed the mobility. He hasn't showed any signs that leg is bothering in any kind of way. Steve Smith came back off of the Achilles injury.
Yeah.
So you have 2 proven veterans in that offense that have stepped up, provided leadership, and that's the key.
Yeah.
You have leadership on your offense, and, you know, that's where Baltimore has always been defended. They've always played great defense.
Yeah.
But you have those leaders back on offense that lost last year when they went through the tank and couldn't win a game.
Well, speaking of leadership, you look at in the AFC South, the Houston Texans at 2-1. They scored 42. They've given up 53. J.J. Watt may not play anymore the rest of the season because of his injury. We know Andrew Luck in Indianapolis, they are 1-2. They've scored 81 and given up 95. Tennessee is 1-2. They could be easily 2-1. Again, a couple of bad calls in the Raider game. They've only scored 42 points on offense and given up 57. And Jacksonville's 0-3, Big C. But your thoughts on Houston without Watt? I think that really puts them behind the 8 ball. I still look at Tennessee being a team because they can run the ball that can challenge for that division, Big C.
Well, Charlton, if you look at the plethora of injuries that J.J. Watt has had over the past couple of years, many people hadn't known about. You know, he's had abdominal surgery. He had back surgery in the offseason.
Yeah.
But he came back too soon from the back surgery, and now he's going to be lost for the year.
Yeah.
With his back surgery. You know, he's a Superman, but even Superman, iron can wear thin.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's happened with J.J. Watt. This could be a career-threatening injury because of the position that he plays.
Yeah.
Brock Osweiler, I believe, showed his true stripes last week.
He has stripes,
because he was 5-3 in Denver. He
had
2 good games in Denver.
Yeah, he's horrible.
he had 2 good games out of those 5 victories.
Yeah.
Now, many people don't remember when he was replaced by Peyton Manning. I believe he had thrown 3 interceptions.
Yep. Yeah.
In the game.
Yeah.
And they said, enough's enough. Because we've lost a couple games in a row with your quarterback. He's thrown 3 interceptions already.
Yeah.
He's going to bring Peyton in the second half.
Yeah.
The Broncos went on to win the Super Bowl.
But see,
people forgot about that he didn't play great.
Yeah.
Is that they think about him won 5 games, but look at Denver's defense.
Yeah.
How dominant it was during that time, Charles.
And ironically, the team that won the Super Bowl last year with defense, their defense is still bringing it. As we get over into the NFC, actually, we got one more in the East. We have the AFC East, and we're looking at the New England Patriots, of course, 3-0.
Just New England. And let's go to the
okay,
NFC.
New England in the AFC East, okay?
Stop teasing those other teams.
Okay, we won't even tease them. We got to mention the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Buffalo Bills, okay? They're playing for second place. That's more exciting. Who's going to finish second in the AFC East? Over in the NFC Big C, I'm surprised that it's still awkward to say this. The Los Angeles Rams are atop the NFC West. They're 2-1, but ironically, they only scored 46 points on offense. 63 is what they've given up on defense, Big C. I have no idea how they're doing it, other than they're playing some teams that are having some bad luck that day, Big C. And then Seattle, I think they're going to win the NFC West. They're 2-1. They've scored 52 and given up 37, followed by Arizona, that's disappointing. They're 1-2. They scored 79 and given up 63. And of course, the 49ers they're still in the abyss right now, 1-2. Bay Area media is very happy that they're not starting Colin Kaepernick because they're off to a 1-2 start, and no one's telling the coach to sit down and shut up, Big C. But your thoughts on the NFC West?
Well, eventually the media in the Bay Area is going to have to say Blaine Gabbert sucks.
Yeah.
Nothing personal, he just sucks as a player.
Well, no, that's not fair, Big C. There's 2 quarterbacks that have a worse QBR rating than him, so give him some change on that, Big C, okay?
Well, I guess moving record also.
Yeah.
But here it is. You've been named as the savior of a franchise.
Yeah.
And you can't even finish a game, Charles.
Yeah.
So
he had 119 yards. He had 119 yards passing at Seattle. And these same media people that were saying, and even some of their radio announcers, one of them played in the NFL, they were saying, yeah, Gabbert shows the leadership, and he's definitely what the 49ers lead. I don't hear him saying much of anything now. Now he's talking about their defense and how they can get better on defense. But the same guy they put on the pedestal, now they've all kind of backed off against him, Big C. It just doesn't make any sense, Big C. But we'll get over into it's a surprising record. The Vikings in the NFC North, they're 3-0. They scored 64 points. They've only given up 40 points on defense. Green Bay is 2-1. They've scored 75, given up 67. And Detroit, they're 1-2. They've scored 81 and given up 85. And of course, your favorite team, the Bears, Big C, they're no longer the 85 Bears, the monsters of the Midway. But who do you like in the NFC North? As it looks like Minnesota might be the surprise champion again, Big C.
Well, Charlton Bears might score 85 points.
Yeah. Okay.
But when you look at the Vikings won 11 games and won the division last year.
Yeah.
And they were chopping on the heels 2 years ago of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but they had Bridgewater and they also had Peterson, too. That helped them a lot, too, Big C.
Yeah, but this is an organization that has arrived under Mike Zimmer, Charlton. When you look at what they've done, if you could pencil in a backup quarterback, which is all Sam Bradford was, he's a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Because he's waiting to get hit, and he's going to need a Band-Aid.
He's going to need more than one.
This organization was sound top to bottom.
Yeah.
And the Vikings being 3-0, yes, it is somewhat of a surprise after losing Bridgewater.
Yeah.
But then you have to give credit to the rest of the players on the team, knowing that it's not just a one-player offense.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? These players step up and they played as a cohesive unit. And they've proven that being 3-0 at the start of the season. And their defense has just been tremendous. The offenses put points on the board.
Yeah.
But they have not allowed the opposing offenses to put points on the board. Green Bay is an up-and-down team. That organization, the receiving core is not what it was when they won the Super Bowl several years ago.
Yeah, that's
the biggest difference when you see Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers needs to find some consistencies with his receivers.
Yeah.
Tremendous quarterback, tremendous talent.
Yeah.
But his offensive line has been suspect, and his receiving core this year has been suspect.
And the last thing we'll get into, Big C, this final segment is sponsored by BeneathHisWingsFoundation.org and CYNN Entertainment. Contact Cynthia Evans when it comes to promotions. She's the best in Northern California. As we transition into the surprise team of the NFC in the East, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at 3-0. They've scored 92 points, but they've only given up 27 points with that defense. Dallas is 2-1, which I still think will win the division. They've scored 77 and given up 60. and the Giants are 2-1. They scored 63 and given up 61. And, of course, Washington's at 68 points. They've given up 92. Your thoughts on the NFC East? I still like Dallas because they have a great running game, and I love their running back in Ezekiel Elliott. He's leading the NFC in rushing, 71 carries, 274 yards in 3 games, Big C, and his longest run was 21. But I really like their running game in Dallas. Your thoughts on who's going to win the NFC East, Big C?
Well, when you look at the top 2 teams, well, there's 3 of them at the top, but I like to look at Dallas and I like to look at Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think the key to Philadelphia's offense that no one is really stating in mainstream media, you have to look at yards after catch.
Yeah.
Wentz has put up some yards, but how many of those yards came through the air and how many of them came to the ground? We saw a couple long touchdowns last week by runners after they had caught the ball.
Yeah.
So, that's a big thing. Is he stretching the field? I know he has one long pass against Cleveland for a touchdown.
Yeah.
But is he stretching the field? Is he putting pressure on the secondary? I think because, defenses have played so close to the line of scrimmage with him, is that he's been able to get those dink passes out right behind the linebackers, and they've been able to pick up a lot of yardage.
Yeah.
Once they understand what they're doing offensively, and in every NFL team, it's about adjustments, okay?
Yeah.
It's about adjustments. Now, this week we'll see the true Dak Prescott, because Dez Bryant may not play because he has a fractured tibia.
Yeah.
So, Dez Bryant not in the lineup. Dak Prescott, a lot more pressure on him and the running game for the Dallas Cowboys. They're going out, and so we'll see which one has the better ceiling.
Well,
the season will get tougher for both of these young quarterbacks. Eli Manning can't touch him come the fourth quarter of the New York Giants.
Yeah. I tell you what, Big C, we'll find out a lot more, too, about how all these teams will shape up as we get right around the 5 or 6 games played under their belt. I think we'll see Kaepernick in there by Game 6 for the 49ers. Unless Chip Kelly's trying to audition for the job in Los Angeles, Big C, I think we'll see that. And speaking of audition... Yeah.
Well, now they got an NFL team already. USC is over the NFL team down there, so he would have to play second fiddle.
Yeah, well, he's probably going to have to play second fiddle, Big C, because, the Trojans down there, they're having a hard time competing in the college football ranks. And I know the LA media, unless you're the Lakers, they really don't love you too long if you're not winning, Big C. So they're going to have to turn things around down there for Southern California.
Well, Charlton, before the season is over, Clay Helton will be gone at USC. And not Chip Kelly, but Brian Kelly will be gone in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 2 high-profile
jobs. Are you saying that Touchdown Jesus is going to fire somebody, Big C? I thought you went to Jesus to have your soul saved, not to be fired, Big C.
He can't fire enough assistant coaches, and he can't put enough blame on players. You think about, Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
He's talking about his players in Notre Dame as if they're NFL players.
Exactly.
He's talking about young men, as young kids. You're out there blaming them for your ineptitude as a coach and your assistant coach.
Yeah.
Blasting them through the media.
Yeah.
Okay, who is there to prepare these young men for a game, Charles?
Yeah. I thought they were there to get an education, Big C. That's what I thought they were there for.
When you're there about educating and teaching these young men, whether it's just on the field or getting them through the classroom.
Yeah.
And to touch on that a little more, I want to go to the University of Nebraska, Charles.
Yeah.
The Board of Regents is talking about expelling players off the team and out of the university who took a knee during the national anthem.
Really?
Now, I always thought that college was about higher learning and being able to express yourself and grow.
Yeah.
And here it is, you're having regents at a university saying these players no longer should be able to go to college. They didn't commit a criminal act, Charlton.
Right.
Notre Dame had 6 players arrested prior to the start of the season, a week before the start of the season.
Yeah.
5 of them dressed for the first game. 5, Charlton.
Wow.
These kids in Nebraska didn't commit a crime, but you got the Board of Regents at Nebraska. Not only that, the governor is going to come in and talk to these players like they committed a heinous crime.
Right.
These kids didn't commit a felony. They didn't commit a misdemeanor. But you got the governor and the Board of Regents in Nebraska saying that players don't have the right to express themselves as citizens and human beings. Their Fifth Amendment rights should be expelled from them.
And if this is the same school under the great Tom Osborne and under the late Lawrence Phillips that had beaten up a woman and pulled her down some stairs, and Osborne, of all people, he lobbied for him to keep playing on the football team because they had a chance to win a national championship, Big C. But when it comes to expressing your First Amendment rights, then they have a problem with that. Is that what you're saying, Big C?
Yes, they were okay with a player committing physical and sexual assault on campus.
Yeah.
Because they were in the national spotlight and going up for the national championship, and Tom Osborne such as a Joe Paterno, had this squeaky clean image.
Yeah.
And we couldn't tarnish it.
Yeah.
But you have players who do a non-violent personal stance.
Yeah.
And you want to expel them from the university. Not just the Board of Regents, but the governor.
Yeah.
This is what America, when we talk about racism in America, this is what it is. This is what leads to other crimes, Charlton.
Yeah.
Because you have someone of power and position like that. So now you get Joe Billy Bob, who said, well, I'm going to go cover for the guy, and I'm going to take care of what he couldn't do.
Yeah.
Okay? And so this is when a crime is committed in America, Charlton, because you get some yahoo being a loudmouth, like the Board of Regents at Nebraska and the governor of Nebraska, speaking up against innocent college athletes who you brought into the university to get an education, to become better and solid citizens in society.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about expelling them for doing nothing wrong, Charles.
Well, that is so crazy, Big C. But as we tell people, we do it every Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time worldwide. It's straight talk and it's real sports talk, Big C. I always appreciate what you bring to the game. You have a historical perspective. And I also want to say no domestic violence whatsoever. No tolerance for it. If you see a woman in trouble, just call 911. Don't let your friends off the hook. And also, guys, don't let your friends drive drunk. Everyone be safe out there. And every Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, listen to Charlton and Big C Sports on the iHeartRadio Network. And as we always say, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.